It wasn't a tabloid that started it. TLC wasn't even the beginning. It started with a worn pair of headphones and a flickering desk lamp in a peaceful Ohio home late at night. Noah, a media archivist and long-standing Sister Wives fan, sat on the other side of the screen. He had devoted years to gathering uncut interviews and unusual video, including reunion footage that never broadcast, and used confessionals and DVD extras. It wasn't about gossip to him. Anthropology was the subject. A digital exploration of a society based on public image, power, and polygamy. On that Thursday night, however, he discovered something new. He came upon a folder named Unused B-roll/Confessionals S12 while searching through an old backup drive with production debris. The majority of it was filler. Robyn looking through a scrapbook with a false giggle, and Kody strolling through the woods in moccasins. Hey, hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel TLC Flicks. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. However, one clip lacked a production label and a timestamp. Nothing at first. Kody on the confessional chair, the camera shaking, the microphone scratching. Off-screen, the producer's voice was kind yet inquisitive. He inquired, "How are things with Robyn lately?" Kody's face was unnaturally still as he folded his arms and leaned forward. In startled quiet, Noah said. The sentences were really clear, however the audio crackled a little. He played it again. Once more. And once more. Every time, the same sickening insight became more profound. This was not a man talking about love. A man was explaining control. First on TikTok, then on Reddit, he shared the 47-second video. Kody Brown's confession about Robyn, never aired footage, was the straightforward title. By the time the video reached 1 million views, it was Friday morning. By Saturday, it had taken over Twitter and was in the inboxes of TLC execs, Sister Wives fans, and former wives. The very women it wounded the most had allowed it into their homes and hearts by Sunday morning. Depending on who heard it, the confession struck a different chord. Some saw it as a confirmation of their pre-existing beliefs that Kody Brown was never interested in plural marriage, justice, or spiritual harmony. He wanted to be in charge. And whether he realized it or not, Robyn had provided him with the ideal setting to satisfy that need. Years of footage were pieced together by TikTok producers, showing Robyn crying while Kody hurries to console her, in contrast to Christine's anguish being disregarded, Meri's emotions being written off, and Janelle's strength being misconstrued as coldness. Within hours, relationship counselors and YouTube therapists had their say. In a single day, the video Kody Brown, a case study in covert narcissism, received 500,000 views. TLC remained silent. On the inside, however, producers were rushing. The footage was forgotten. Others assumed Kody himself had requested that it be shelved, while others said it was shortened for time. Now, however, it was out, and there was no stopping it. Kody back in Flagstaff didn't know a thing. He had a mug of coffee and a moody face as he paced the backyard of his rental home. Once more, Robyn was inside with Solomon, homeschooling him while crying. Over the past 2 weeks, the tension in their home had increased. The children were aloof. Robyn wept a much. Constantly tense, Kody blamed everyone but himself. He was unaware that his world would tilt on its axis in a matter of hours. Already, the group talks were lively. Fans and friends bombarded Christine's phone with messages. Before breakfast, Janelle received 4 texts from her daughters with the link. Meri had already begun to view the clip by herself. What about Robyn? She had just received a panicked call from her sister. "You must see this, Robyn." That night, Robyn was crying on the porch. While Christine sat upstairs crying by herself, Kody consoled her. Her feelings were analyzed and disregarded during the treatment sessions. The way Kody would cradle Robyn like porcelain while rolling his eyes when she showed sadness. Fan communities formed in the hours that followed. Screenshots from Kody's wedding to Robyn were displayed, and his eyes were compared to those from his weddings to Christine, Meri, and Janelle. Someone else created a detailed record of the times when each wife stopped getting his love, which coincided exactly with Robyn's crying or needing times. The ex-wives were contacted by bloggers. "When a man loves your pain, not you," is the title of an essay written by one therapist. Janelle was asked to speak on a well-known podcast. She said no. However, it was no longer only about the video because of the quiet, the growing momentum, and the collective anger. About 10 years of television were abruptly reframed. Each episode, every glance, each and every apology, every tear. Everything was reframed by a single, terrible admission. The first was from a cousin who lived far away and she hadn't spoken to in years. The second came from a woman she hardly knew, a fellow polygamous marriage survivor who was the leader of a Salt Lake women's healing group. The third note was sent from a fan whom she had met at a book signing in Phoenix, and it said, "I'm thinking of you today. You weren't worthy of this." Mariah was the source of the fourth. Just a link and a red broken heart emoji. No words. Unaware that the video would shatter the basis of her previous 20 years, Meri clicked it mindlessly while sitting in her home office in Parowan, Utah, with sunshine filtering through gauzy curtains. Meri experienced a visceral tightness in her stomach, like a rope pulling taut across her chest, as soon as Kody's voice entered the room. Her thoughts strayed back to that dismal evening in Flagstaff 2 years prior, when she had sat across from Kody in a marriage counseling session, pleading with him to simply make an effort to get back in touch. Kody didn't speak louder. He refrained from crying. He didn't flinch at all. No, he had just stated, staring her in the eye. Meri had nodded as though she had been expecting the response while she sat there struggling to breathe. However, she hadn't. Not at all. And everything came crashing into sharp perspective after hearing this leaked video. One by one, the memories now battered her like waves against a collapsing dam. The patio. After the catfishing incident, she waited outside that evening for Kody to speak. He never showed up. Nevertheless, Robyn peered behind the veil. She did it every time. Christmas. When Kody finally arrived on the 26th of that year, he hardly spoke to her and instead assisted Robyn in decorating a second tree for the children. The cameras. When the film crew was around, Kody always seemed to act performative with her, giving her awkward hugs or employing romantic words he never used in private. However, he vanished as soon as the red light did. The therapy session. It was their final one. When he claimed that she was a friend he didn't want to offend, he was no longer in love with her. She brewed her favorite lavender blend tea later that afternoon and sat on the back porch with her journal in her lap and her pen still dripping with emotion. Far away, the mountains were silent and unending. They had always been there, unlike Kody. Meri knew what she needed to do by dusk. She opened her laptop and went to her infrequently visited blog, which she had created to advertise her bed and breakfast and motivational products. For more than a year, it had accumulated dust behind posts about starting fresh and family resiliency. Next is Savannah. Hunter comes next. And then Christine. Still wearing her jammies and holding half-empty coffee, Janelle blinked. Her phone vibrated off the kitchen counter as the messages continued to come in. The link was clicked by her. It seemed as though someone had struck a match inside her chest when Kody's voice filled the room. She initially believed it to be deepfaked, or changed, or dubbed. Something. Anything. Because she knew that the Kody Brown she loved, co-parented with, and championed would never utter such a disgusting thing. So unkind. So arrogant. However, she discovered as she listened to the uncut audio, replete with the distinctive rhythm of his speech and that smug laugh he always made when he believed he was being profound. He was this. This actually happened. And that was all. Janelle was in her car 15 minutes later. No place to go. No strategy. Simply move. Motion. She needed to drive in order to feel the road beneath her and to have a tangible object to go along with the storm that was raging inside of her. She sped past the ancient cul-de-sac they never completed building out and through the familiar twisting lanes of Flagstaff, past the partially vacant lots that were meant to house their various family aspirations, past the church where family prayer nights used to be held, past everything, which now seemed to be a cemetery of mistaken faith. Her knuckles grew white from the tight grip she had on the steering wheel. She wasn't in tears. Not quite yet. But she was clenching her jaw so tightly that it hurt. Janelle had adapted to silence throughout the early years. Utah, Lehigh, the move to Vegas. She wasn't always in Kody's schedule. He was occupied, thinned out. She reminded herself of that. The independent wife was the one who didn't require continual approval. She took care of the pandemonium, paid the bills, reared her children, and never complained. Kody comforted Christine as she sobbed. He catered to Meri's pout. He jumped whenever Robyn needed anything. Janelle, though? It had always been assumed that Janelle would handle things alone. She had never let herself acknowledge the pain of that until now. Garrison's message, her phone buzzed once more as she parked on a ridge with a view of the wide stretch of Arizona pine. The voicemail had been preserved, one she hadn't heard in a long time. The week following Garrison's death, she nearly erased it. Her heart thumping, she hit play. Mom, I cherish you. I understand that being dad is difficult. However, you're the strongest woman I've ever met. Don't allow him to diminish you. Never. All right? Make me that promise, please. She felt as though someone had punched her in the lungs. Garrison's voice sounded worn out and raw. From the weeks when he and Kody had become so far apart, when the disagreements turned into battles and the silences grew intolerable. He'd seen Kody. The actual Kody. Furthermore, Janelle had not wanted to accept her son's claims at the time. Now, though, she wished now that she had paid more attention. Christine stood and opened her arms without hesitation when Janelle entered the little, hidden cafe in Flagstaff. The two women embraced as survivors of the same fire, not as sister wives. For the first minute, no words. Simply breathing. Only the burden of collective treachery. Janelle then retreated and took a seat. Her gaze was ferocious. Unblinking. State that you heard it. Christine gave a nod. Yes, I did. Assure me that my desire to scream is not insane. Christine gave a headshake. You're not. Janelle jerked her jaw. I feel ill from it. I believed that I wasn't soft enough all those years. But perhaps he might change his mind if I showed more emotion. However, no. I simply wasn't pitiful enough to make him feel like a man. I will not remain silent, Janelle declared. This differs from his remarks made in private. This is open to the public. That was his choice. He wasn't duped. He wasn't inebriated. He is that person. Christine watched her and nodded slowly. Therefore, what will you do? And there's more. Sister Wives star Kody Brown has been actively working on mending his relationship with his kids and hasn't given up. Suki Krishnan, the host of Sister Wives Tell All, gave a positive update on Kody's relationship with his kids during a recent appearance on The Sarah Fraser Show. He is trying his best to find a place where he can meet his sons as men and his daughters as women, and maybe try to heal those wounds, she commented. Christine Brown, star of Sister Wives, is being open about her poor sexual relationship with her ex-husband, Kody Brown. The TLC star claims that intimacy was essentially non-existent at the end of her and Kody's 25-year marriage in Part 3 of the Sister Wives Season 19 tell-all. In an excerpt from the upcoming June 8th episode that TLC posted on Instagram, Christine tells tell-all host Sukanya Krishnan that by the time they ultimately decided to get a divorce in 2021, both of them were merely going through the motions. According to the mother of six, the relationship between Christine and Kody was fun and just a blast when they first started dating. She says, "We had a lot of good times. But romance waned as the years went by. Christine realized there was a serious problem in her own marriage by 2010 when Kody spiritually wed Robyn Brown, his fourth wife. I thought, oh, there definitely is something missing here when he married Robyn," she says. However, it was nearly over by then anyhow. Christine continues by saying that she and Kody's marriage lacked a real true intimacy, and that her husband failed to provide for her emotionally, romantically, physically, financially, nothing. Christine claims that she and Kody remained physically intimate in spite of their issues. However, when they were together, sex was just an act, and there was little emotion. She admits that neither she nor her husband benefited from the circumstance. She says, well, used is a word, but perhaps he felt used too. As if we might simply take advantage of one another. It had no significance. According to Christine, who calls their relationship apathetic, sex turned into a duty rather than a sign of love. You're not welcome in my bed. We're finished. It has been revealed what the Sister Wives cast members would not discuss during the Sister Wives one-on-one special. Kody Brown and his polygamous family are the subject of the long-running TLC reality series Sister Wives. The theme of Sister Wives Season 19, which debuted in September 2024, was significant changes in the family. Meri chose to file for a spiritual divorce from Kody, Janelle moved to North Carolina, and Christine moved on and married David. The rest of the family struggled with unresolved emotional issues and tension over the Coyote Pass land, while Kody and Robyn settled into a monogamous relationship. According to Today, the Sister Wives One-on-One Specials Part 1 stated that, out of consideration for the family, the subject of Garrison's passing would not be covered during the tell-all. "I think we found out that day that they did not want to go there," Janelle Christine said during a recent appearance on The Sarah Fraser Show. "What is there to say?" Janelle, who offered her condolences at the beginning of the special, continued, "The loss of a son affected a mother, father, and family. What's there to say, really? As a journalist, what are you allowed to ask? As I don't want to repeat myself, Robyn Brown is a very unpopular character on Sister Wives. Furthermore, no matter how many times I personally look for a positive aspect of her, she consistently fails to deliver. The tell-all's first and second parts have aired, and Robyn has declined to respond to inquiries. Viewers are even more irritated with her than usual as a result of this move. The question of whether the series has reached its end has been raised by Season 19. In any case, Robyn seems more than ready to end her reality TV career at any moment. The woman's audacity, to be honest. A video of Robyn and Kody Brown preparing to drive up to the tell-all filming was made public by TLC, and Robyn said it all with her face. The five-time mother didn't want to go and didn't want to engage with the cameras. Then Kody inquired as to whether she was anticipating the reunion. "I'd rather have a root canal," she replied. She is a difficult woman to like, despite her good graces. Even Kody appeared somewhat taken aback by her candor. But her lack of enthusiasm only got worse. Robyn started to stall when Janelle Christine asked questions. Despite having a platform to express her truths, she refused to respond to question after question. To make matters worse, Robyn acknowledged that she hadn't seen any of the TLC videos that she was supposed to discuss during the sit-down reunion. She described the videos as disturbing to the host. Robyn had obviously checked out of doing the real work and taken her large TLC paycheck. It goes without saying that Robyn's sour attitude did not impress the Sister Wives audience. Fans of Sister Wives seem to be most irritated by Robyn's refusal to accept responsibility. Her and Kody's behavior has caused the Brown family to fall apart. However, they both firmly believe that falling in love was the only wrong they have done. Insert vomit emoji here. Robyn has been regarded as the favorite wife for years. Janelle Brown even called her the scared cow during the most recent season. Robyn appeared to clap back when questioned about the remark during the reunion. "Moo. No, I'm not sure. In any case, I don't give a damn." Robyn's unwillingness to acknowledge that she was, in fact, Kody's favorite wife is evident. Robyn hasn't contributed anything to the discussion during the first two tell-all segments. Viewers of Sister Wives are now painfully aware that she is merely seated on the couch out of necessity. Regretfully, Robyn has frequently constructed her own story about her role in the family. She was the victim of a story in which she was persuaded to adopt a polygamous lifestyle. Viewers of Sister Wives had some strong reactions to Robyn's careless behavior. Instagram comments were used by followers to express their indignation. TLC should not pay Kody and Robyn if they refuse to answer questions during the tell-all, a fan wrote. Given how candidly the other wives have discussed their ongoing challenges or victories in life, the sentiment makes sense. The most dull aspect of the episodes was Robyn's plot, which centered on her daughter's baptism. "I couldn't help but think she had been duped. Both of them fit each other," said another. "Cheating on themselves, but not misleading anybody but themselves." Since then, the comments have been disabled. Regretfully, the Sister Wives reveal. Fans are not being given any new information by all. "We have been watching old episodes from the last few seasons that were not recorded in real time. As a result of social media updates, the majority of viewers were already aware of the circumstances. The only thing devoted fans truly want is for Robyn to respond to the challenging questions, just like the other women have. However, it appears more likely than ever that fans won't get their wish. It appears that even Kody, who considers himself Batman, has had enough. Meri Brown, star of Sister Wives, hasn't always had the best relationships with all of Kody Brown's kids, but it appears that she and Gwendlyn Brown have recently clicked. The polygamist patriarch's first wife was Meri, and his third wife, Christine Brown, had a daughter named Gwendlyn. Given that Kody had 4 wives and 18 children overall, the family tree can be quite intricate. The Browns were a contented family when the show debuted in 2010. Even though they were polygamous, they appeared to be a loving, largely cohesive family. While the cameras were rolling, all of that changed. The family had disintegrated by the time Sister Wives season 19 debuted, nearly 15 years later. 3 of Kody's 4 wives had left the plural family. There was a lot of animosity and water under the bridge, so they didn't depart amicably. Kody's older kids hardly ever spoke to their dad. Some of them wouldn't even talk to him. Meri and Gwendlyn recently posted a pleasant moment on social media, despite the fact that the Browns are no longer a family. Continue reading to find out more about their moment of healing. Another of Kody's children, Kody Brown, made an appearance on YouTube Live with John Yates in 2023, sparking the controversy. Kody called Meri mean and abrasive during the tense 3-hour interview. Kody remarked, "Meri was not nice. For some of us kids in particular, the word abrasive is insufficient to describe what Meri was." Kody continued by hinting that the violence was more than just verbal, but he refrained from providing specifics out of consideration for his mother, Christine. Gwendlyn responded to Kody's allegations on her Patreon page following his interview, seemingly confirming them. According to her writing, Meri was scary as a child. She even claimed that Meri specifically targeted Michael T. Brown, Gwendlyn's sister and fellow Sister Wives season 19 co-star. "I don't recall Meri ever getting physical with anyone but Michael T., and that was only once. Meri had times when she was nasty and frightening." She continued in the post by stating that she thinks everyone should be given another chance. Let us know in your comments. And stay tuned by subscribing our channel to get more updates like this. Thanks everyone.